Hafade and good morning, everybody. Thank you, as always, for starting your day the KUAM way. I'm Jason Salas, and location this morning. Thank you so much for streaming us wherever you're coming from. I got the Sergeant Paul Tapao is here. Sarge, good morning.
Hey,
Hafade, as always.
Hafide, thank you so much for having us. The Guam Police Department really appreciates the opportunity in which KUM can, where we can actually work in tandem in addressing issues that surround an island and everything. And this is an important part of our job now is to really inform the community about what they can do to stay safe in our community.
And this is something, admittedly, that we have never done. So, this is going to be very informative, very educational. We are actually going to stage what would be essentially a stranger danger situation, right? And teach young people out there, but even people maybe in their mid 20s all the way up to college age, what stranger danger is, and maybe, as I know in law enforcement and the military, they call it situational awareness, correct?
Yes, absolutely, and that's the whole focal point is being aware of your surroundings, and more importantly, controlling the elements. Controlling your environment, what you can take control of, and understanding that situations that may arise and how you can actually react to it. And we've taken the stranger danger concept, again from the incident that occurred last year, and we've developed a program where we've used the acronym of DANGER as part of the guide and understanding what you can do. And it's really, really simple. We've adopted a lot of self-defense mechanism where you're not going to get hands-on. Believe it or not, you're not going to get hands-on. Although we stress that in dire situations you may have to get physical, you may have to deploy some sort of tactical movements. But this simple acronym, the DANGER acronym, will show you how to really address and making use of your situation awareness and really honing in on your skills and being focused on understanding what the situation presents and how do you handle it. So, we've dissected it. We've used tactics that we use in the Guam Police Department. We've used tactics that we've utilized through martial arts and understanding time and distance and understanding of just wrapping your head around what is really happening.
Well, I know a lot of people just think, like when you mentioned, tactics and strategy and approach, everybody thinks that you're approaching a situation with this.
Nope.
It all starts with this.
Absolutely. The power of mind. All great martial artists, all tutors of the art of martial arts will tell you it really starts with the mind. And really, you go to any dojo, you go to any gym, and they'll tell you straight up, it really 90% is all mental, 10% is the physical. Why get into a confrontation when you can actually think your way out of it? Why engage when you can actually maneuver your way out of it through what you use, your environment, the time and distance, the ability to draw attention to you. This is how you become the element of your environment. This is how you take control of your environment. And again, it really boils down to basic martial arts and how you utilize it. In jiu-jitsu, they tell you always have three moves ahead of the opponent. Same thing here. Now you're taking away your distractions, such as the cell phone. And we want to stress that cell phones, create that major distractions. And it's really important that parents stress this to their kids, whether they're walking to or from the bus stop or anywhere where they may have to walk alone. Stress the importance of stranger danger. Start that dialogue. Get their heads wrapped around what can really happen when you're out there by yourself and how you can arm yourself with the knowledge and empower yourself in what you can and cannot do. And, again, taking control of your environment.
Okay, folks, we are coming to you live right now on Crime Time from the University of Guam here in Manila on a great, great day. Information is very, very critical here. So we have actually two officers with the Guam Police Department who are in plain clothes today. They will be acting essentially for us, and they are going to play the part of I believe one is going to be a perpetrator, someone who's trying to abduct a young person. It's one of the officer's daughters, actually, who's playing the role of the victim. Or would you say victim in this case, or just like a
Just a bystander,
okay.
just a bystander that may be a victim and everything. So again, situations like this, I mean, we're using the school, we're using the campus as the backdrop and everything, but abduction can happen anywhere, and it really is understanding how you take control of your environment. And Officer Palacios is gracious enough to have his daughter Megan Palacios be the, player, get involved in the role playing, and Officer Michael Wynn is going to play the adversary. We're going to demonstrate an actual confrontation where you may encounter an individual or a stranger walking up to you, and the second one will be what do you do when you're approached by a car, and where to stand and different stance and what you can take. So it really, we're using the acronym DANGER. If you take what we're using in danger, you see how we broke it down and how we are going to utilize it to the fullest advantage for the person or the individuals wanting to get out of a situation like this.
All right, well, here we go. Please take notes, everybody, and add your comments because we want to know what you feel about this. And please share this with your friends because really, really good. Okay, here we go. Situation one. Here we go. A stranger danger training, and you are watching this as a live demo here at the University of Guam. So, Sarge, what's happening right now?
So Megan is playing the role of the victim and everything, right? So she's walking, and again, if you notice what she's doing, she doesn't have, she's not being distracted. She's aware of her surrounding, and
Nanny girl. Hey,
okay.
your
Now,
mom told me you should go with me. Let's go.
But I don't know who you are. What did my mom say?
Huh?
What did my mom
Your mom said to go with me, so I should take you home. Let's go.
What's the password?
I don't know what's the password. Let's go.
Ah! Ah!
Okay, very, very. That all happened super quick and everything, but that is an actual practical life situation of what could happen in an abduction situation.
yes, and when we'll break it down, we can bring Megan and Officer Wynn back here, okay? So she's walking. If you notice how she was walking, right? She had her hands in something in which she wasn't grasped around to and everything, right? So she is really being the product of the environment, right?
Well, let's go in the shade.
Yeah, she's aware of what's happening, right? So as she was walking, right, she made the point to look over because she heard footsteps behind her, right? And the first acronym in what we're going to use is D, right? In danger, and that's distance. When the adversary approached her, you notice how she took that step back and she provided that distance. What that does, it just allows you time to now we move into A, right? And it's really assessing what's going on.
Well, let's get Officer Wynn back here too, so we can we'll reenact that. Maybe do like a slow mo.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Okay.
Well,
so-
Sarge, I know you're a big sports fan, so we'll do a slow mo replay here.
Slow-mo replay. Okay, so she was walking and Officer Wynn had approached her and everything, and she realized that. So we'll stop it right there. Okay, so you see what she's doing? She took herself off of line, right? Off of the line. In boxing, right, the coaches would tell you, get your head and your body off of the line. She took her stance now is offline of the adversary. This is an advantage point. Notice her hands. Her hands are up. Okay, that's a defensive position, but it's also an assertive position. What's going on now? This is the distance phase. What she's doing now, she's making an assessment. This is the A, right? In danger. She's assessing what's going on. Every time he moves, she moves. But look at how she cuts the body in half. We call it pieing. So she's cutting the body in half. So she's reacting to that. Now she's understanding that, hey, this may be now a stranger danger situation. Listen to the dialogue and what happens now.
Hey, your mom told me for you to go with me. Let's go.
If my mom told you to pick me up, what's the password?
Okay, stop right there. Okay. Now she's using the assessment and everything, right? And here's the key word: password, right? This is something that we want to teach now. Okay, it's the parents teaching the kids. Give them a password. Only certain people will know the password. What she's doing now, she's taking note where she can actually bug out to. How is she going to bug out? What she's going to do, right? So here's the D-A-N, right? And now, as she takes note, the next phase is she's going to ask again one more time, and she's going to solidify it now that it's a stranger danger situation. He doesn't know the password. She's going to have to go. That's the G. Where am I going to go? She's made the assessment already, right? So we're blocking her line of where she's going to run, right? So go ahead and ask again, Mike.
Let's go. Just go with me. Let's go.
What's the password?
Please. Let's go with.
See how she used that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Her hands are free and everything. She still had her hands up, right? Go as you took note of where you need to go. You go there now. Now you assess that that's the stranger danger situation that you're in. E, escape and evade. Everything and anything that you can do. If you have a whistle, use the whistle. She used her voice. Help. When we first did this, we were rehearsing. People were looking towards this direction. That's what you want to do. When you saw the first scenario, as soon as she screamed for help, people would have looked. In this type of situation, people are going to look at what's going on. What's the commotion here? What is he going to do? Every criminal doesn't want to get caught. That's the bottom line. Right. They don't want to get caught. So she escaped and she evaded, right? When we say evade, do everything and anything. Okay. If it gets confrontational, you may have to get physical and stuff if the adversary continues to come up. Now, the R, report. Take note of what happened. Report it immediately to and a responsible adult, a figure within the community, or the Guam Police Department.
That's what I was just going to say, Sergeant, because obviously we're here at UOG and we're using this as an actual practical stage, right? We're right across the street from the business school here, the Leon-Guerrero School of Business and Public Admin. So Megan would have said, okay, I know there's a lot of people over there during the daytime. There's typically on-site security guards. There's a lot of professors and everything, like people with cell phones. Probably my friends are over there. They can do that too. What if this was a nighttime situation? What should she have done when there might not be classes in session right now or very few people around? Do you run towards a street light or a stoplight?
Run to where you know that there's going to be crowd or there's going to be people. Click your alarm. Officer Palacios, he practices it every day. He teaches his kids, before you walk to your car, click your alarm. Let the alarm sound up so that you draw attention to that. So people are looking, you have bystanders looking at what's going on and everything. So this creates the environment. This is your environment now. You're creating that environment for you to be safe. And, reporting it, it really is important that we take note of what's happening, okay? That's the acronym, DANGER.
Now, when you report it, what type of information should you pass along to law enforcement authorities?
What happened, where you were at, time, location, a good description of the adversary, a good description, the best that you can. That's what we need to go by. Where they're in a car, the type of clothing items, and everything. And, when I go out to the schools and I teach kids, right, and I ask them, how can you best describe an individual? An 8-year-old or a 10-year-old is not going to say, oh, he's about 5'4", 150 pounds. We use size. So if a child tells you he's about this tall or he's as tall as you, that is, shapes and sizes work better with kids than colors.
Well, let's get Officer Wynn in here one more time so we can maybe illustrate. Obviously, he's wearing, some distinctive clothing right now. But if Megan only had a few seconds to actually recognize and process what was going through, based on his physical stature, what he's wearing and everything, what would be key information to pass along to GPD?
Hat, complexion, voice. Did he speak in an accent? Even scent. Yeah, scent is important.
You heard that he was calling her, hey, nanny girl and everything.
Yeah.
So there might be a chance that he spoke Chamorro or, he had a Chamorro accent.
Possibly local, right? So this is the basic description, 5'4", possibly local, right? Wearing this and everything, right? What we look for, too, is scars, birthmarks, any tattoos. This is where the assessment comes in. This is where you're assessing, okay, when you say you only have a split second, that split second is enough time for you to make an assessment of what's happening. Everything slows down. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation, life and death situation, things slow down. Bruce Lee even said, you put things in frame. Michael Jordan even said it himself. Before I make my move, I put everything in a frame, what I'm going to do. And it slows down everything. And these are the elite athletes. These are the elite martial artists who put things in frame before they even react, right? So you want a counter reaction. What I'm going to do, how I'm going to react this. I need to make the assessment. He's too big. I can't get physical. He may overpower me. The best resort is to run. So this is where the assessment, and what distance does, it creates time for you to process what's going on. Distance and time will allow you the time to process, hey, wait a minute. So you ready? She's asserting herself. She had her hands up, and she provided that distance. If he was to encroach and she couldn't get up, hands become a barrier to provide the distance. But you notice how she was moving every time she moved. So that, again, is the awareness, the situational awareness, preparing for the unknown, but you control the environment. It's a good demonstration. Now we're going to show you what to do with a car, with a car situation and how to, where to properly stand. You can't take on a car, but what you can do is you can control what's going to happen. So same thing. We're taking danger, we're breaking it down, the acronym down, and we're just simplifying it for everybody so they understand. Distance, assessment, note, right? Goal, escape and evade, and then report.
Okay. How much of this also has to do with, you can't always guarantee that you will walk with family or friends, but when you're by yourself and everything, you talk about situational awareness. What should your mindset be? You talked about staying off the phone and not, focusing on that tiny little screen, but just in terms of being aware of your surroundings and everything, where does your brain have to be?
Your brain has to be in the location. Your brain has to be embedded in the environment. Your brain has to be aware that in the shadows there may be people lurking. There may be somebody that's going to pounce. Equip yourself. Start purchasing small items such as a handheld flashlight. How do you hold your keys in the event you have to get confrontational? I love how she used that as a distraction. It provided time and distance again, but you have to make yourself a part of the environment.
She also used her sweater as a weapon.
Yep, absolutely. That created time for her to escape and evade, and it really was a distractionary device. Even if you use your purse, hey, come on, let's face it. Is it really worth the effort to you to fight over a purse when you know that your life is in line? You always got to think worst case scenario. life over property.
She could have easily have done that, like if she was wearing a hat, or maybe taken off like a zori or a shoe, or just
Yeah,
those few seconds make a
even
difference.
The flying slipper, you know. I mean, Denzel Washington did it in Training Day, where he used a cigarette, he flicked it, and it caused that reaction. I mean, these are simple things that really make an impact. You know, you may think it's not valid or anything, but you're taking him out of his comfort zone now because he has to react. It's like chess, you know. I check you. What are you gonna do? It's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to react. What I'm gonna do? I gotta protect my knight. I gotta protect my king. If I do this, I'm gonna lose. Now you're doing 3 moves ahead of your adversary. So it really, again, we've taken it. We've used MMA. We've used martial arts. We've used police tactics. But more importantly, she didn't even get physical. She didn't get confrontation on everything. So that's the approach. Now, a lot of times situations happen where vehicles will be utilized as a concealment. You know, worst case scenario, a child gets abducted. They're mobile. That's the scariest thing.
All right, so here we go. Situation 2, dealing with a car, right? Let me get audio on.
Yep.
Baby girl. Baby girl. Hey, hello. How you doing? Do you know where the library is at here?
It's over there.
Do you wanna show me? You can go with me, and then I'll drop you off back.
It's over there. Just a few buildings over there.
No, no. Yeah, can you show me? Come in the car.
Okay, let's bring that back, Mike. We use the car.
That's a very scary situation.
It is. It is. You know,
Megan handled herself exemplary.
she did. She did. You know, she checked over her shoulder. She peeked. You know, in soccer we call it check the shoulder, right? So, use your senses. You know, become the element of the environment. The sidewalk and everything. You know, cars are going to be commuting to and from. You know, pedestrians are going to be coming. Expect what may happen. So as the car approach, you notice her stance, and we'll run it back again one more time. Mike, can we run that back one more time? Got it, Megan?
Good job, Megan.
Thank you.
Okay, one thing I noticed, Sarge, was that when the officer was doing that towards Megan, he kept on persisting and
Yeah.
pestering with the same line of questioning. No, can you show me where it is? Just help me out and show me. Maybe trying to take advantage of the fact that people here are very nice and we're
Yes,
very
absolutely.
neighborly.
So notice how the approach, right? So he came in here. The contact was made to the conversation. Look where she's standing. Okay.
Baby girl, can you show me where the library is at?
The library's over there.
Can you come show me?
Okay, stop right there. Okay. So look at where she is to the door, right? In police, I'm not going to divulge too much information of where we stand because it's part of our tactics and everything. But the car now can be used to your advantage. The door, right? It's going to outswing. It's going to come out this way. He has to exit. She's an advantage point because one or two things, right? If he was to open the door, you can easily kick the door back into him, throw the distractionary device, whether it be your purse or your stuff. But look at just the position where she's at, okay? Outswing, you can kick the door back in, throw the device. He has to maneuver to come out. Look at her beeline, where she's taking it. She's gonna run around straight to the car. This now becomes the barrier. This becomes the obstacle for him to get through. Once she cried for help, tension's gonna be drawn through there. That's your danger. You know, that's the danger acronym. Distance, assessment, note, right? Go, escape and evade, and report.
I would also think that in this situation, because the officer is in a vehicle that's a 2-ton piece of metal,
Yeah.
he's a little less mobile than Megan is and everything. So Megan, you would say, as far as evasion and escape, would have the advantage in this situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if he's gonna make his goal to get out now, because she's ready onto him, he's gonna have to exit the car, right? And he can exit the car if the car is mobile and everything. So the car is gonna be engaged. What the position it provided her, she also had a bird's eye view of what his hands were. His hands in the steering can be easily put down. Those are great indicators. She provided that distance. She created more distance and she created more time for her to react. Again, the door, the car in itself, and where her beeline for escape was, it provided that barrier. Because if he's coming out of the car, he has to open, he has to exit the car. We can easily, deflect it back in by, kicking it or pushing it back there. But she used the car as another obstacle and barrier because he has to run around now, unless he's some kind of Jet Li, Jackie Chan, where he's going to scale over the hood to make the effort to seize her. I don't think he has that going on because now he has to find ways around the barriers on the obstacle. And it was really using it to her advantage. So she became, again, an element of the environment.
And it looks like we're a far distance away there, but if Megan had taken off and, she's sprinting the whole way, adrenaline really kicks in.
Yep.
She's scared, but she's aware. And I think that's the key to Meg, right? You go there's at least 70 people who, and you're screaming at the top of, full volume at the top of your lungs. Somebody's going to come out and want to help.
It's natural. We all need to take part of this. We all need to understand that when somebody cries for help, a lot of times people get caught in this situation because of the fact that they're still pondering and they're still wondering what's going on. They haven't made the assessment part. They haven't realized that, oh my God, this is really, really happening. They're not moving 3 moves ahead of what's going to happen. So it's really understanding that you have to be able to control your environment, and by you utilizing time and distance, making the assessment, and noting what you need to do, the simple 3, what we call the top 3 pillars, and understanding what you need to do, that's the initial 3 assessment. A lot of our victims, they get caught off guard, right? It's like predator and prey. The lion's not going to pounce unless he has an advantage point. So they get them at the most vulnerable. Don't become vulnerable in that state. Be an element of your environment. Be aware of what's going on. Situational awareness. They utilize the password in that situation. It can be easily taught to any level, any grade, any kid, any age. Understanding that, this is the password that mommy and daddy's teaching you. If anybody comes up to you, you ask them, what is the password? If they don't know the password, then that's a stranger. That becomes now a dangerous situation.
Okay.
Break down that acronym. What are you going to do? How are you going to provide the ability to think and react? A lot of people can't really react to that because they're still caught in a shock. They're shocked. They're shock and awe. Sort of say it's like, wow, I'm caught off guard. And before you know it, before you even realize what's happening, you've been abducted. You've been robbed. You're now going to become a victim. So these are some of the simple steps in which we're going to be working with the schools and teaching the kids on how to stay safe in the community.
Okay, I want to get to your comments because you guys have posted a lot of very interesting feedback. Let's swing a camera around right now and just take a look at that vehicle because, Sarge, we're talking about the last letter in the acronym for danger, the R is reporting.
Yeah.
Based on the makeup of that car, when you're passing this information along to authorities, what are the key things? We talked about earlier when it's person to person, you talked about manner of dress, height, weight. What kind of information is really critical for GPD to receive about this car?
Detail, what stands out in the car, right? The rims,
Make, model.
Make, model, if you're keen in vehicles and everything, a white sedan. But what really stands out, if you really look at it, there's that funky light, strobe light that we have on the side. What car really has that, right? It's distinct. The symbols that you have on the car, so a lot of the cars nowadays, they display the manufacturer symbol and everything. The rims, the tires, license plates. It's good if you can get a license plate, but a lot of the criminals who utilize vehicles, they like to use steal plates, and the license plates are fraudulent. It's not the proper license plate that's attached to the vehicle. Look at distinct marking, dents, scratches, stickers. These are good descriptions in which we can go by and utilize in filling the report and providing the accurate information to responding units, sending all points bulletin throughout the northern part and the southern part of the island, but paying attention to detail. And this is where the note part comes in. You're making the assessment already. Now I'm noting, okay, this is a white car and everything. I know where to go. I'm processing. So the process is already churning, and it's like, okay, buddy, your move is, what's your next move? What are you going to do? I'm going to react to that. I'm going to cause you now to react to what I'm going to do. So it's, again, this is the flow, to be like Watts kind of thing,
I think, again, with the Bruce Lee analogy.
It is, and
And you say this all the time, more information is better than no information. You don't have to be a total car enthusiast or a gearhead that said, oh, it was a 64 Impala with, it lowered and, hydraulics, and I had 30-inch rims on it, everything like that. You can just basically say it was a white sedan, and that's still helpful.
Yep. And you look at distinction, right? The strobe lights that we have on that door, it's unique. What car is going to run with strobe lights in the car and everything? And it's really things that stick out. Really, it's going to catch you, right? It's like, okay, there's a sticker. There's a dent here. This is something that I can capture and everything.
There's no hubcaps on the tires in this case.
People say it's a second or two. That's enough time for you to process and everything. Once you're in the frame, once your mind is processing what's going on, things tend to slow down. Like I said, it's the body's fight or flight way of survival. So this is where you slow things down and you react to it. It allows you to react, and it's crazy when you hit that euphoric state and where you can actually be like a zen and move like that, right? I mean, that's the ultimate in everything. But understanding what you can do, understanding how you can prepare, understanding your thought process and what needs to be done, understanding that you become an element of the environment, and of course, situational awareness. These are simple techniques. We did it last week Saturday a gathering that we had. The kids were able to engage. They understood it. Parents were appreciative because it was really like, oh, I didn't know it was that simple. And it really starts with the parents talking to the kids, understanding the dangers out there and what they can do to protect themselves.
Okay, real quick, we are going to wrap up. I want to read some comments, but let's go ahead and bring in our cast, Officer Palacios, Officer Wynn, and Megan. First of all, Megan, great job, fantastic. A lot of people are appreciating this right now on Facebook.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's all come in, guys, because there are some comments I want to pass along to you. Francine Marie Ovale is saying, this is fantastic. She said it's great. A commercial should be made so when kids watch TV, it's a reminder of them. So that's what this is all about, passing information. And again, this isn't just for little kids. This is, we're at UOG right now. This applies all the way up to college level and even Manumco, correct?
Absolutely. Again, you can, as old as you are, as young as you are, if you make yourself an element of your environment, it really, the process of thought, the mind is strong. Like I said, 90% is mental, 10% is all physical. You utilize that 90%, thought process, you can conquer anything. You can really, man, it's amazing what you can do in survival mode. What you can do when you understand that you have control. You're controlling your elements. You're controlling your environment.
Well, here's a really good comment. This one comes from Anthony Flores on Facebook, who says, nice tactics to teach the young ones, girls and boys. Obviously, we had Megan, a very lovely young woman, but this certainly applies to either gender, right, Paul?
It does. It does. Again, this is a technique in which parents can teach to their kids. This is a technique in which we are going to go out to the schools. We're going to teach it. The dynamics of crime has changed, and we as the Guam Police Department, it's our responsibility to stay in line with that same dynamics and everything, and to simplify it and understanding that technology, where it's a pulse in our system. But if we separate ourselves from that and allow ourselves to say, from point A to point B, I need to safely get there. What are the worst case scenarios that may happen? Being in control of your environment is what we're going to be teaching.
Okay, and final comment, and we'll close on this. One of our top fans, Debbie Davis, watching us all the way from Kentucky, so I think she's having dinner right now, but Debbie joins us all the time, and she says, you know what? And this goes to the point that you all were trying to make, so thank you. Passwords do work.
It does.
That's what she says.
It does. A lot of the federal government side, they utilize it to teach their kids. This is time where we need to start teaching our local kids and what they can do to stay safe. And there's that password that's going to assure you that he doesn't know the password. I need to up it up, and I need to understand that this is now a situation where it may become dangerous for me. So what I'm going to do? What's my next move? How I'm going to take care of this?
Okay, so we got to go, and everybody, but please share this with your friends and family. This is information anybody could use. Come on in, guys. Thank you so much. Officer, we appreciate
All right, no problem. Situational awareness every time.
Megan, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
All right, officer. Thank you. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you watching. For the Sarge, I'm Jason Salas. From all of us here at Crime Time, we'll see you next time. Thank you for starting your day at KUAM Way.